So hey, what's up? How's it going, everybody? It's me, back at it again with a brand new video, and today I want to talk to you about something different in terms of photography. So, as you may know, sometimes it's not about getting the right photo, sometimes it's also about how to make the right photo. And a good way to make your photograph stand out more is by following the rules of thirds. Now, yes, you can argue to me, understand the rules before you can break them and break the rules in order to be different. But this is just more meant for beginners and for people who are just starting out and looking into photography and came across this term. And so that's what this video is about. Okay, so the rule of thirds, what is that? Well, the rule of thirds are a guideline that photographers use in order to create their image more visually appealing. It gives a more natural reaction to the viewer because that's just how we see things in life as well. So think about it like this. Think of your picture as the camera sensor inside your camera. It's a square-ish, rectangular-ish shape. Now subdivide that into 9 little shapes, right? And what you get is that these lines that are intersecting with one another, those are your guidelines. And the whole thing in total create the the rule of thirds. And those little intersection vertices, those are interest points. Those interest points are used so that when your viewer first lands their eyes on their picture, there's a higher probability that they will land in one of those interest points. And again, there's a whole study on psychology on how to get your viewer and where the viewer first lands their eyes in a picture first before they can make a subconscious decision. It's a lot, but I feel like the rule of thirds covers a bit of that subject. And what ends up happening is when you as a photographer use that, it can be used towards an advantage for you to stand out more. And that's how photographers use the lower thirds in order to grab your attention, in order for you to be more, inclined to look at it longer. And the more you look at a picture, the more that you dive in, the more that you'll dive in to read the picture, and the more time you spend on it, the more you're sold to it. And that's something that's very important as a photographer. When you're trying to take a photograph, you want to make sure that the viewer spends as much time into the picture, and the more visually appealing it can be, the much more attention you'll get. If that helps. So that's why I think using guidelines such as the rule of thirds is a very useful tool and a very useful rule and guideline, whatever you might call it, that can help photographers understand more about what they're shooting, present a final result that they're proud of. And now, let's take a look at how some photographers have used the lower thirds in order to create a more visually appealing image. Come on, let's go. Why is grabbing the attention of your viewer so important to your photograph? Well, the more time they spend on it, the more they can understand your story, and the more they'll be interested into finding out more about what your picture is about. So, and there's actually a lot more than the rule of thirds. There's actually a bunch of other guidelines for you to use in order to have that same visual impact as the rule of thirds do. So check some of these out. For example, the rule of thirds is the one that tends to come up the most, especially when you're starting out. So I hope this helps you out. So at the end of the day, keep in mind that the rule of thirds are just a rule, and therefore they have unlimited potential as to how you can use the rule of thirds and these guidelines to your advantage. Sometimes they can even create very striking shots when used effectively. And but first I would like for you to get a hold of that this is a thing and intentionally start thinking about where to put those interest points in your composition. Again, it's very useful, you're being very considerate, and the viewer would appreciate that. So again, when you're editing a picture or when you're about to take a picture, always think twice about where is it that I'm placing these interest points in my composition, and or how are these interest points able to compose my story in order to make my message stronger. And that's what lower thirds are all about. Rule of thirds. That's why the rule of thirds are there, to guide you into thinking twice before you press the shutter. And so yeah, the more you use the lower thirds, I keep saying lower thirds, it's not lower thirds, it's rule of thirds. Alright, just for review, we went over what is the rule of thirds, how it's used, how is it beneficial towards your work, that there's other guidelines out there, and how to consider using it before and after a shoot. So yeah, that's what the rule of thirds are there for, and I hope you can look into it more. Like I said, there's a lot more to learn. So yeah. If you want to watch more videos like these, please make sure to give it a like so that way I know that I'm producing good content for you guys, watching it at home, computer, wherever it may be. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. Peace. Please like, subscribe, and let me know